Hello and welcome to this tutorial where I will show you how to build an LCD type display in Pure Data using data structures. So this is the final object, the LCD object, and these are some implementations of how to use it. So I will use this metro object to output numbers between 0 and 9. That will change the display. And this is how it looks. You can change the color of the display by giving it the RGB numbers. For example, I can change this to blue by pressing 9. I can change the off color to greenish by pressing this. Alright, let's take a closer look at what's behind the LCD object. This is the patch for the LCD object. At the bottom, we can see two things. We can see a data structure called G1 that contains an X position and the Y position. This will be the X and Y position of the whole object that we're going to create. Then we have the float color, which is important to transport the on and off color of the LCD object. And then we have several float pairs, x1, y1, x2, y2, and so on. That is because we are going to create the individual LCD segments, the horizontal ones, 1, 2, 3, and the vertical ones, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and the way we're going to do that is by using the filled polygon object. And I'm going to go through what this object, what the arguments are for this object. So first of all, we're sending it the main color, the fill color. Then we're setting the border color to 1, which is black. We're setting the border width to black. And then we're giving it 6 pairs of points. So the idea is that if we take a look at one of those segments, this will be the first point, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth. And here I have the individual coordinates for the horizontal object. And here I have the ones for the vertical object. So if we take a look at what's the idea behind this, we can see there's a vertical object and a horizontal object. The thing about PD's sub-patch graph on parent structure is that the range from this red line to the other red line is coded as 0 to 1, but also from here to here it's also coded as 0 to 1, which means we have an aspect ratio of 1 to 2, but we have to code it as 1 to 1. We have to code it in a way that distorts the original image. So for the horizontal object, I'll start at the point 0, 0, then I go to point 0.1, 0.05, so 0, 0, and then 0.1, 0.05, which results in a 45 degree angle. Because we have to go 2 steps into the Y direction to go 1 step in the X direction for that because of the aspect ratio thing. So then we move on to 0.9 and 0.05 and to 1, 0 and so on. That's how we get the first segment, and you will see for all horizontal segments it's going to be the same. The only difference is that the X and Y position that we're going to give, this is the X position, this is the Y position, they will change. This one is at the outmost border. In fact, I can actually move this away for a second. So this is like the actual outline of the subpatch. You can open it. This is the subpatch. I moved it inside of here, inside of the graph on parent thing of the middle layer, just in order to clean it up a little bit. So, and then I'm going to set it to 2 again. So the thing that's going to be different are the Y coordinates for this one, 0, middle, 0.5, 1. So that's the only difference. And like the color, depending on what number comes. So for the vertical, it's just mirrored. But also keep in mind, again, the weird aspect ratio thing. So you go 0.1, 0.015. Since you go to half of the height to go upward, you go to 0.5. You have to stop at 0.45, 0.1. So it's here, and 0.5 for this segment, and then go back again. Since we have 4 segments, we're gonna have to move it to these 4 positions. What this structure does is that when it receives anything in this inlet, it's first going to clear the whole subpatch, which is called PD, then the individual number of this patch, and then it's going to send the clear message to it, so it's moving on. Then we have to send it, I consider this some kind of address that we have to send to this append object. That's the way I understand it, because it goes into a pointer. Then it's going to send whatever the input here is to all these individual messages. And each one of these messages will create an individual filled polygon with these values. Question is, what exactly am I sending to this part? I'm sending the individual segments the colors that they should have. So in the case of 2, it will send 900 for these 5 ones and 300 for these 2. I do that. I determine which segment should light up inside of this subpatch called key picker. What it does is it gets the numbers in inlet and routes it to individual messages that I have prepared. I've not found the proper way of translating the numbers into binary code that just lights up the right LCD segments. Maybe one of you has an idea on how to do that, and I don't so far, but this is the way I did it, and it works for the numbers. Maybe in the future I'll do it for letters too. Maybe I'll add like cross segments in the middle for it too, but we'll have to see. Maybe I can talk about this a little bit more. These are the other inlets of the LCD segment. You get the on, you can determine the on color and you can determine the off color. What it does, it sets this message box for all of these, and it sets this message box. And whenever the key picker sends the 1s and 0s through this, the 1s get translated into the on color and the 0s get translated to the off color. And this whole vector goes inside and then gets mapped to each of the messages. The first one goes here, second one here, third one here. Remember, this is the color. So, and some design considerations. What I like to do is add a colored canvas behind it. Really, like if it's dark enough, it will really help the numbers pop and give it that LCD type of feel. Yeah, I really like this dark one because you don't see the outlines of the individual panels. You can of course create your own one that contains several LCD panels in one, so that you don't get all these weird borders in between, the weird outlines, but I actually like it like this, and I don't think it's noticeable with the dark color. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and see you next time.